We here in the beautiful Storm Studios, aka my garage, and this is where the magic happens. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I asked you guys to ask me some questions on Instagram, so hopefully you guys get to know me a little bit better. I picked 10 of my favorite, and we're going to get into it right now. How did you come up with the name Low Storm? Great question, and I'm going to give you the shortest answer. It sounded cool. On average, how long does it take you to write and produce a song? Now, I could be done writing and recording 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. I'm not going to rush it. Now, the long part is the mixing and mastering. And I'll tell you why, because you have to try it in so many different settings. First of all, there's so many decisions that you have to make on the fly. And eventually you just have to put your hands up and be like, okay, I'm done. Because there's going to be an infinite amount of tweaks that you can make. And it takes, it takes a lot to be able to put your hands up and say, I am done with this piece, with this project right now. So yeah, you have to try it in different settings and get different opinions, headphones, car, phone, speaker. So you're making tweaks, at least me, for a good week minimum, a good week. So to answer your question, it takes me about a week to finish the song, cover art, everything done. At what moment did you realize you wanted to start sharing your music with the world? The year was 2020. I'll get into it a little bit. The year was 2020. I was working at UPS warehouse, depressed, miserable, graveyard shift. I had just left college and I was pretty much directionless. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And one day I'm working around obviously just older people who are also miserable, depressed, times 10. And all they do is complain and how they can't wait to retire. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, man, that cannot be me. That's all I know. That can't be me. And I knew I was different because I had God-given talent. I had creativity. And that's when like a light bulb went off. I'm like, wait a minute. I've been doing this music thing for some years now. Haven't told too many people, haven't really released anything. But I think if I really give it a try, like I think this could work. So ever since that light bulb moment, working in UPS warehouse, I was like, I think I'm gonna do this. A couple months after that, I decided to drop one time, and that was 4 years ago. So the rest, we're still working. Any tips for someone wanting to start making music? Buy a laptop and buy a microphone. No other tip do you need. I'll tell you why. In the beginning, you're gonna suck. We all do. And it's about kind of getting through that phase, getting good. Because with anything, you need experience. And I can tell you, I have hundreds of bad songs. I like them, some of them, most of them, but the world is not going to like them because they're not mixed well. The vocals sound trash. You're not hitting the notes. You don't have plugins. You don't know anything. So the thing is, when you're going through that phase of just trying things out, you don't want to do that on someone else's time, another engineer's time, let alone on your dollar, because studio time costs. In the beginning, you need something that's going to be able to uh, operate on your time. Having your own mic after work, you get an idea, you want to lay it down in the studio. You don't need to call up an engineer. Hey, are you available? Do you have a slot open for today? No, I have a slot open next week. Next week, I'm not even going to be in the same mind frame next week. So you need to have your own setup. That way you can capture that window of creativity. And like I said, you're going to save you're going to save hundreds, thousands of dollars on studio time because you got it yourself. So that's the biggest tip. Favorite song of mine. Now, I have, like I just mentioned, hundreds of songs. And if I had to pick from the few that I have on streaming platforms, it'd probably be New Me, just because that song hits when I perform it live. People love it. Um, from the beginning, first beat, we already like vibing. So New Me for sure. How do you balance working a job and working on your craft? Amazing question. It just comes down to treating your craft like a job. We all have a 9 to 5. Sometimes we work 9 to 9. Now, if you're willing to give 12 hours of your day to another corporation, someone else's business, someone else's dream, and come home and not give your craft even 30 minutes, something's wrong. So you really need to be able to clock out of your day job, come home, clock into your dream. You know what I mean? Yes, you're going to be sacrificing hours of sleep. Yes, you're going to be sacrificing a social life, family life. But this is all time that will be invested into your future. So, am I the best person to ask this question? Probably not, because, it's not necessarily a healthy balance that I have. So, to answer your question, it's really just treating your craft like a job. Any new projects coming out? House tape? Question mark. To be honest, bro, right now I'm just dropping singles, seeing what people gravitate to, dropping different flavors, seeing what's hot, what's not, what works, what doesn't. I look at a project, a album or a mixtape as a staple in your career, especially the first one, something that should be timeless, something that you can look back on years down the line and still be proud of. So it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of dedication. I still have a lot to learn. So to answer your question, not really a album on the horizon, just singles, just singles. Describe your sound. My sound is however I'm feeling that day or in that moment. That window of creativity, I capture it in that moment. And, if that's an alternative sad song, if that's a song about a girl, if that's a lit house song or EDM, like those are really the genres I try to stay with. Or maybe I want to drop some bars on a, future type beat. Like, it all really ranges, but at least when you're listening to me, you're getting an authentic sound. That's one thing I could say. You're listening to how I was feeling in that moment. So that's how I would describe my sound. Favorite DAW and favorite plugin. Logic, just because I learned on GarageBand. That's how I learned. So I just graduated into Logic naturally. And some plugins I use, Fab Filter, Pro Q3, fire. Auto Tune, of course, is essential. Yeah. Next release. My next release is August 9th. Um, I'm dropping a heater, straight heater, which is in 2 weeks. And that's gonna be 4 years since one time, my first official release. I'm just excited for you guys to hear to hear the progress. You know what I mean? How far I've come. You're getting a true product of Storm Studios. It came out of this garage right here. My hands touched every part of the beat, of the vocals, of the mixing, of the mastering, of the cover art, everything. If you want to hear something that's just genuine, not something so commercially crafted to kind of appeal to as many people as possible, just something that I wanted to make, making the music that I want to create, saying what I want to say, not trying to appease anybody. Nobody else had a say in the song that is coming out August 9th. Keep an eye out for that. Let's go. And that is a wrap for today's Q&A. I got more content coming out sooner than later. Like I said, I hope you guys got to know me just a little bit better. And yeah.
Shawty Woah, I ain't never been here before. And Shawty Woah.